Put a hole in a nigga, no Fruit Loop. Chopper make him dance on 2-2. I shot him shooters, just my drug, yeah. Lacing these pistols, I feel, yeah. Fuck the rap game, I'ma make a new record. Trapping all day, that's my nigga singing. For the young, he tripping, he flexing. Hit a plug off, I need bars, I'm texting. Yeah.
Tell him make room, we're coming up. All the racks we're running up. A toast to the night, hold up a double cup. Go another round, that girl better double up. Here to set things right now, here to fuck 'em up. We are not done till the sun starts coming up. Hey, now that I'm here to stay, not one to run away. Listen to what I say, everything is okay. Everything is okay. Now that I'm here to stay, not one to run away. So listen to what I say, every day is a race. Watch us become a first place.
Not today, bitch. Slurring on cocaine, bitch. In the car switching lanes quick. Watch all these outsies banging. I wanna put on her breaking rain. I wanna fuck in this bitch exchange. I don't care about these things that he claim. I got that chopper, he kicking no bang. Put a hole in a nigga, no Fruit Loop. Chopper make him dance, no 2-2. I shot him shooters, just my drug, yeah. Lacing these pistols, I feel, yeah. Fuck the rap game, I'ma make a new record. Trapping all day, that's my nigga singing. For the young nigga, he tripping, he flexing. Hit a plug off, I need bars, I'm texting. Yeah. Put a hole in a nigga, no Fruit Loop. Chopper make him dance, no 2-2. I shot him shooters, just my drug, yeah. Lacing these pistols, yeah. Fuck the rap game, I'ma make a new record. Trapping all day, that's my nigga singing. For the young nigga, he tripping, he flexing. Hit a plug off, I need bars, I'm texting.
Yo. Give me a second. Hold on. All right. Yo, man. It's your boy Hog Life, and it's Chop It Up the podcast. And that was the funk snippet by my special guest, Mockingbird, that's in the building. It's good.
What's good, man? How we doing, huh?
Man, we coolin', man. First and foremost, for those who don't know who you are, give them a little background.
Yeah, so I go by Mockingbird. I go for Birdie for short. I'm from Connecticut, in the States, and I've been working on my music since about April 2020, and I've been sticking to it, and I've been getting better as I go, and it's only up.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's been about a year since you've been on the show, and I definitely
Yeah.
see the progress. So I had to reach out to a follow-up interview. Um, so yeah, man, 'cause hopefully, hopefully we'll get you nominated for an award next year, because we did have an award ceremony, award show. Chop It Up Podcast First Name Award Show. If y'all hadn't check it out, but check it out on the YouTube. It was a dope ass event. We did it December 28th. It went crazy. So make sure y'all continue to support. I see y'all. Now, with that being said, tell us about the creative process behind Feel the Funk.
Yeah. So basically, I actually think I think your SoundCloud's bugging because that's actually a different song that played. I guess the screen was off. So the song that you
Yeah.
just played is actually called Kung Fu. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
I think it was just a disconnect. It's nothing big, but
Yeah.
it's called Kung Fu, and it features my cousin. He goes by Dread.
Mm-hmm.
He's the other person you hear on that track. He does the chorus, and he has a little verse after mine. And originally, it was his track a couple years ago, and he was gonna give it to this other dude, and I guess the guy just didn't follow through, or it wasn't what the two of them wanted for it. So, he played it for me, and I was like, listen, like this is like beyond anything else you've ever made. This shit like this has to come out. I'll gladly hop on it to try and finish this. And I remember at one point, I think he freestyled what you hear on that song. I was like, listen, you gotta go back and you gotta record that. We have to put that on the song. You need to do more than just a chorus. And it sat in the vault, and it went through a lot of different stages for a long time. A lot of months went by, and back in July of this past year, we bunkered down and we just kind of finished it. I remember I recorded my verse at like 3 in the morning, so I was like super fucking tired, but we had to get it done. And then we spent, I think it was a total of 16 hours straight working on it. We didn't stop until we got it, and then I dropped hundreds of dollars into it. I made sure that all the documents and the paperwork and the copyright was all set up so that we could um, profit off it without having any issues with the producers. So there was a lot of time, money, and effort put into it, and I think it came out fucking phenomenal. And I'm always going to try and push that to be at the top because I think that's where it belongs.
Mhm. So how would you describe your progress from the last interview a year ago to now?
Um, well, I've definitely made progress. That Kung Fu is now, by this point, in terms of what's actually public, it's my number one song. I was able to,
Mm,
since then, I've been able to work towards getting my music elsewhere than just SoundCloud. We're talking Spotify, Apple Music, fucking like Amazon, like Tidal, everywhere. And, that allows for casting a wider net. More people can get
mhm,
onto it. So, I've worked towards that, and I'm just constantly trying to, squeeze my way into any new sounds or new genres I could get my hands on. By now I've dabbled a little bit in heavy metal. I've done alternative rock. I've done some like trip static and trip hop and dream pop, just literally anything I get my hands on. So and I'm always gonna keep working towards trying to master my craft and everything that I'm working on at the moment. Um, and I'm still fucking working. I got a new song coming out next week, so there's that to
mm.
look forward to. And I'm trying to push myself, and I'm trying to get myself. I don't want to pigeonhole myself into any one genre. The last thing I want to do. I don't want to be known for just any one sound.
Right. How important it is for you for your sound to not be saturated into one genre?
Oh, it's everything to me, bro. That's literally everything to me, because I feel like when you when you kind of when you kind of trap yourself into that one sound, that one genre, it kind of prevents you from doing other shit. And suddenly you become just known as this one person that does this one style that talks about the same thing, which of course is kind of what you see in the industry nowadays. It's everyone on the same wave, and that's cool. Every now and then you'll find something like you'll find like a diamond, and it's fucking great. But I feel like there's not enough variety and there's not enough of a message being pushed through all of it. So I feel like I don't, there's tons of other people that be doing it. There's hundreds and thousands, um, and one of us is bound to pop out of the scene sooner or later. And that's kind of my hope is to use everything that I've learned through growing up with music and watching other artists blow up and blossom. Um, I just kind of want to take in everything in my environment and kind of push something, newer and also more positive.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They can use some positive stuff uh now with a lot that's going on. Um just a little side note, listen to On My Way by RPM's 500 featuring E Fine, produced by RPM 500 by Dodo RPMZ's on SoundCloud. Just to put that out there. Since he dropped that little comment in the comments, I had to put that out there. Just a side note, some slight news real quick. Bold, Real, and Knowledgeable, the magazine, the second issue. Uh, Placements are now available, so get your placements. For that, the prices are fair. Check the price out. Check out what I got going on in that regards. Recall January 28th. Make sure you tap in for that. Bringing the battle raps back. It's a lot of dope card coming, so make sure you tune in because they got some dope battles on the card. Um, let the people know where your name Mockingbird come from.
Yeah, so for a long time, as soon as I knew I kind of wanted to get into music, and I started writing way back when, I was kind of I knew that I wanted it to not be something that you could just kind of gloss over, like where it would look like anyone else's. Um,
Mhm.
I know that I wanted it to have some sort of meaning to it, where it wouldn't just again just be something very simple and to the point. So back in my freshman year of high school, my English class read "To Kill a Mockingbird," and I guess it kind of resonated with me at a subconscious level, where um, one of the characters goes on to this monologue about mockingbirds and what they do and the kind of birds that they are, and to kind of paraphrase it, they talk about how they don't really they don't eat anyone's crops, they don't really cause a disturbance. All they do is they're just trying to sing their song. They're just trying to um, make themselves known musically. And for that alone, that's why it is a sin to kill a mockingbird, because they're not necessarily doing anything harmful to the community. They're just trying to do what they personally love and think that is best. So I guess by that point, it kind of just stuck with me to go with Mockingbird, and I've kind of decided to sort of build my image and persona around that idea. Just making music that I think people need to hear, that I think will resonate with people. And if someone has an issue with that, then I guess that's kind of on them.
Absolutely. We don't want to hold y'all know because we want to get back into the music because I want y'all to know you the real deal. They're trying to got some talent out there in Connecticut, man. Uh, and that music scene and hip hop scene. I know we don't hear too much about Connecticut hip hop scene, but
Not
y'all
enough.
definitely getting a taste of it today. Sure. Yeah. So he gonna have to tell us what song it is because the Kung Fu song I had it on the Field of Funk and they played the Kung Fu song. So he'll let me know if I'm playing the same song or
Gotcha.
what particular. See, this one say Kung Fu with Dread. Uh, well, I don't know if y'all can see it on your screen because I don't think I got it up there on the screen yet. Hold on. So let's see. Let's make sure. Okay. Now this might be the other song. I
Oh,
don't know. Huh?
that's Kung Fu. That's the first one you played.
Okay, that's the first one. Making sure. Y'all bear with me. We'll be down. All right. Okay, this right here is Shore Full of Thoughts, produced by Purple Hex.
Yeah, you good. That's right.
Okay.
I wish I had a plan so I could be a better man, could be a better lover, could be a better friend, to be a better son, someone who never runs, who faces the tides and rises against the wrongs he'd ever done. Maybe then I could be proud of who I had become, and And I spend all my nights awake wishing that come undone. Spend my days with who I love, maybe the little one. Gaze out a window, see the blend of pain I'd overrun. Now that's the life I want, a future when none of my past would haunt. Now all the laughs are gone, echoes of shadows within the song. A battle of war for none, so many losses, still no one won. One in the chamber gun, brings to the sky, never see the sun. Waves fall away. Don't lose yourself into the sand. Waves fall away. Don't lose yourself into the sand. Waves fall away. Waves fall away.
Yes, sir. Uh, I like that. I like that. I like it was smooth. It was positive,
Yeah,
and it gave us more of a, I would say, personal take on it. I
no, absolutely.
said it came from a place of going through some shit and just had to put it out there like that and had to vent. Tell us the creative process behind shows full of what's it like? Shows full of thoughts.
Yeah, so by that point in my life, I was kind of well, I don't like to think that I'm not much of an angry person. I don't get angry that much anymore, but by that point, I was very angry. Um,
Mhm.
Angry at myself, angry at the world. You know how it can be sometimes. So that led me to kind of pushing people away. I kind of snap at people and
Mm.
say shit and do shit I probably shouldn't have. But sometimes you just can. Sometimes you just can't really control yourself when shit like that happens. So that was kind of me expressing my remorse for it all. Kind of wishing that at that moment in time I wasn't like the way that I was. Um, while the chorus kind of has more of a positive um, undertone, the verse is kind of really where it shines, where I kind of really I delved into what I was thinking and how I was processing things back then. Um, and when I found the instrumental on a YouTube video, I think it was only like a minute and a half, and it was nowhere near as long as I wanted it to be able to well, make what you listen to. So I had to loop it and make sure that it actually sounded somewhat natural of a loop, which is why it's so much longer than if you were to find the original instrumental for it. Um, and then every now and then when I make something, I'll decide to I'll slow it down, I'll pitch it down and see how that sounds. Add some heavier reverb to it to make it a little more moody. And what I realized when I did that to this song is that it kind of transformed the whole meaning of the song, what it is. It kind of put it through a new lens. And while this one again has a more hopeful, um, look to it, when you slow it down, it feels much more hopeless. So what I decided to do is I uploaded both and then I privated the slowed version. I put a link to it in the public one. So it's kind of, and I put in a playlist. I titled it two sides of the same coin because I feel like while it's the same song, but just by slowing it down, it's almost a completely different song. Um, so while it may not be let's say as successful as Kung Fu has been, it's still definitely one of my personal favorite songs I've been able to come up with, and again, it kind of it definitely holds a special place in my heart from when I made it.
Absolutely. Who are some of your musical influences?
I've gotten into a lot more artists since we last talked. Um, since then, I've gotten heavy into Death Cab for Cutie. Some alternative rock, some indie rock. I've gotten heavier into Deftones, which is borderline black metal. Um, I've been in my Radiohead phase for a couple weeks now, and they do everything. I definitely want to eventually work with live instruments and kind of go in that route because a lot of what Radiohead was able to accomplish since their inception has been nothing short of phenomenal. So and then besides that, it's always been the core people. You have your Michael Jackson, you have your Eminem, you have your Triple X. He's always been there since I started music. Has a big influence of mine. I love some Nirvana, some Kurt Cobain. I've gotten into Pink Floyd. So I'm always I'm always expanding my music vocabulary. And I think when I listen to a person or a band for a while, it starts to bleed into the music I make, and I'll start looking for sounds similar to theirs, and I'll start even writing like some of their frontmen. So just kind of all over the place, really.
So, writing right now, would you say you content with the music you're producing right now, or you feel like there's more to add to your approach?
Um, I always think that I always believe that there's more room for improvement in any aspect and any area. And as it stands now, I definitely I've been putting it off for a while, but um, I'm starting to kind of entertain the idea of going into the production side of things because I have a very very basic understanding of it, and I'm able to do very basic things. But um, when you have an idea for a song, especially if it's something that's completely original, you kind of have to know how to do that, and you have to know how to get into um, the gritty details of it all, and you have to be able to make everything work. So and I've thought about maybe switching over to shit like Ableton or Logic Pro, where it's a little more friendly in terms of you know the the the, the layout and the setup, and it's friendly because it's like you can mix better on it. You can get into more specific things to work on. So I thought about that. And then in terms of I guess in general the music I make, I feel like I think it'd be great to get to the point where I could confidently say that I've mastered the genres that I work with. Just keep. I think the longer you stick with a genre, while you run the risk of letting that be what you're known for, it also gives you enough time to really, really understand how it works and how it's supposed to sound and how you want it to sound. You can kind of find a middle ground in that way. Um, so that's what I plan to do. I plan to keep working with what I've been working with and to expand upon what I already know. Um, I feel like, in terms of my writing, I feel like there isn't much room for improvement by this point. Um, I'll try different things in terms of multisyllabic rhyming, um, in terms of a little more radio friendly, where it's kind of simplistic and it's not too over the top. So I can kind of vary in how I write as well, and that's kind of reflective off of the genres that I'm using by that point.
Okay, that what if there was an artist you could work with, who would it be?
Uh, I mean that's a really good question. I mean there's artists that I would love to work with. Um, you know, I may have already even said this in our last interview. It's been so long, but I think working with Eminem would be great. I really feel like it'd be fun to try and get to his level and see if I could stand my ground, go toe to toe with him. But dead or alive, I've always just found it absolutely mesmerizing how MJ would work through his music and how he would um, just come up with everything. He would come up with a percussion and a bass line in his head, and he would lay that out, and then tell his producer or his engineer or his guitarist to play it for him. So I think just watching him craft something while also being able to give my 2 cents, enough to call it a collaboration, I feel like that, um, you know, that would definitely be a dream come true if I was given the opportunity.
Absolutely. Um, I think that'd be a good mashup. MJ, that'd be a good mashup. Uh, we're gonna go back into this music one more time because, like I said, I want y'all to know there's some real ass talent out in Connecticut. Like me, when it comes to music, for me, I'm going into year number 3 of doing this shit, and I've been able to meet artists from all over the world. Uh, Locally and internationally. So it's been a crazy journey, but we going places. We expanding into new shit. We going places. So make sure y'all stay tapped in. Y'all know I know just got to throw out my before we get to the song, throw all my announcements out. I had to tap in the panel. Got a new episode coming out. Make sure you drop by for that, man. And the versus battle, that's coming back. You think you got a catalog, your 10 songs in your catalog can beat somebody else 10 songs, tap in with me. And let's get a versus battle going. Versus underground. You know what it was going down, man. We had 4 under the belt already. We looking for about to make number 5 happen real soon. So make sure y'all tune in for that. Uh yeah, man, the platform going, everything going. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. And hit the notification bell. You know how that goes. But with that being said, I'm gonna make sure I put the right song on because I've been fucking up. I just said that not long ago. All right, let me see. Give me a second. All right, be on my screen. Now, if you got a particular song you think I should play, I'll play
I think you might like Lecture.
Lecture.
Yeah,
All right.
that was up towards the top. I think it was the second one.
Okay. This is Lecture produced by Joe Vassi.
My eyes are open so wide. How many times can I open your mind? How many ways can I write out a rhyme just to make sense of all life that's divine? It's time to see what we are. Peel back the layers and reveal the scars. Binary star, stronger together than we are apart. What will it take for me to see all the things that are in front of me? Give it my all, take it out of me. Lyrical human anatomy. We live all our lives in pure agony and question our faith in mortality. The belief in hate is a travesty. The standing by is much of a tragedy. Much of a tragedy. The standing by is much of a tragedy. Time that I give you a piece of my mind. I'm badly tested and my skin no longer stand by. Time we hold our hands high. We must reach for the sky and grab pieces of mine. Look at the sun and the moon. Look at how everything else is in tune. Tell me you're comfortable alone in your room. Nothing for you to do except plan out your doom, man. Is that what you want? Is the not clear wanted in a new font? Remember, temptation exists just to taunt. Give in to it once, it'll come back to haunt. And I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know that you know, you know, I know, and I know, and I know, and I know, I know, I know that you know, and I know, I know, I know, I know that you know, and we know, we
Okay. That was smooth. I liked it that I liked it that the chopped and school vibe at the end.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
had to slow down. That was really dope. Okay. Tell us the making behind Lexi and the third person.
Yeah, so when I recorded that, actually, I was slightly sick, which is why I kind of don't really sound like that anywhere else in my discography. Kind of had like that, kind of like that raspiness to my voice. Um, but I guess going into it, I kind of, I named it exactly what I wanted it to be, which is a lecture. I wanted it to be something that people, well, yeah, it's very, you could bob your head to it and you could sit there and you can enjoy it. But what I really want out of it is for you to listen to it. There's a lot to be said. And, I make, I question the listener a lot in that song. Um, it's a lot of, I'm really trying to force you to think about where you are and what you're doing, and if it's something that you actually want to be doing at that point in time. It's kind of almost kind of born out of frustration, just kind of trying to appeal to people and trying to get people to listen because I feel like so many of us are just almost like mindless drones just going about the day. And when any of us sees anyone else kind of breaking free of that mold, our first instinct is to kind of try and shut them down because if we can't do what we want to do, then why should anyone else? So it's kind of almost what that whole outro is. When I'm saying I know that um, we're all aware of it, but so very little of us actually decide to do anything about it. And when we do, again, we get shot down, right where we're standing. So I feel like that's definitely I have it in my spotlight. One of the first songs you see on my account because again, I feel like it's something that needs to be heard. Can't just be brushed aside when there's a message there so much larger than just the song itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let the folks know what you got coming up. Once again, what you got coming up and where they can find you.
Yeah. So for now, I got a song coming out the 18th. It's called "Love Is Obsession." That'll be out everywhere. I'll be posting about it so you can find the links to it if you're having trouble. Um, you can find me on my Twitter at Tyler Cronin2, the number 2. You can find me on Tumblr, You're Mockingbird. You can find me on Instagram, Mockng period bird. Um, and then, if you ever want to talk personally, I can give you my personal information as well.
Man, like I said, man, it's been chopping up the podcast, man. Special thank you to my guest Mockingbird for being in the building, man. And chatting it up with me, man. And I see what you're doing, man. We're gonna constantly keep it in rotation because that's just what we do over here. All this support and all this, and definitely making it happen. So man, y'all stay tuned into what he's doing, man. Subscribe and follow him on all social media platforms. Make sure you follow Chop It Up Battle Rap Kingdom on all social media platforms, mostly at Battle Rap Kingdom. YouTube, you can type in either one of them, Chop It Up or Battle Rap Kingdom, and it'll pop up under the same channel. Uh, yeah, man, we everywhere, man. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that like button because that's a good video. Watch more, man. So, roll to 1,000 as well. Roll to 1,000 subscribers. We're at 936. So let's keep pushing the envelope and making it count. And get the watch time out with us too, man. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. Tap in, tap out. Chop it up the podcast. Your boy Hawk, like, peace. You know what it is.